Lesson 3: Biological Evidence of Evolution. Evidence for evolution. Recall that sequence of horse fossils from Lesson 1. That sequence might have suggested to you that horses evolved in a straight line, that one species replaced another in a series in orderly steps. Evolution does not occur this way. The diagram in Figure 13 shows a more realistic version of horse evolution, which looks like a bush than a straight line. Different horse species was sometimes alive at the same time. They are related to each other because each descend from a common ancestor. Living species that are closely related share a common ancestor. The degree closely in time which diverged or split from their common ancestor. Although the fossil record is incomplete, it contains many examples of fossil sequences showing close ancestral relationships. Living species show evidence of common ancestry too. Comparative anatomy. Common ancestry is not difficult to see in many species. For example, it might be easy to tell that robins and finches and hawks evolved from a common ancestor. They all have similar features such as feathers, wings, and beaks. The same is true for cats. How are both hawks and cats related to frogs and birds? Observation of structural and functional similarities and differences in species do not look alike are possible through comparative anatomy. Comparative anatomy is the study of similarities and differences among structures of living species. Homologous structures, humans, cats, frogs, bats, and birds look different and move in different ways. Humans use their arms for balance and their hands to grasp objects. Cats use their forelimbs to walk, run, and jump. Frogs use their forelegs to jump. Bats and birds use their forelimbs as wings for flying. However, the forelimb bones of these species exhibit similar patterns. As shown in 14, homologous structures are body parts of organisms that are similar in structure and position but different in function. Homologous structures such as forelimbs or human, cats, frogs, bats, and birds suggest that these species are related. The more similar two structures are to each other, the more likely it is the species have evolved from a recent common ancestor. Analogous structures. Can you think of a body part in two species that serves the same purpose but differs in structure? How about the wings of bats and flies? Both wings in Figure 15 are used for flight, but bird wings are covered with feathers. Fly wings are covered with tiny hairs. Body parts that perform a similar function but differ in structure are analogous structures. Differences in structure of bird and fly wings indicate that birds and flies are not closely related. Vestigial structures. The bird in the photo at the beginning of the lesson has short, stubby wings. Yes, it cannot fly. The bird's wings are an example of vestigial structures. Vestigial structures are body parts that have lost their original function through evolution. The best explanation for vesicle structures is that species use the structure for a specific purpose. The whale in figure 816 has tiny pelvic bones inside its body. The presence pelvic bones in whales suggests that whales descend from ancestors that used legs from walking on land. The fossil evidence shows this conclusion. Many fossils of whale ancestors show a gradual loss of legs over a million years. They also show at the same time that whale ancestors became better adapted to the watery environment. Development biology. You have just read that studying the internal structures of organisms can help scientists learn more about how organisms are related. Studying the development of embryos can also provide scientists with evidence that certain species are related. The science of the development of embryos and from fertilization to birth is called embryology. Fire-gel pouches, embryos of different species often resemble each other at different stages of their development. For example, all vertebrates embryos have pharyngeal pouches at one stage, as shown in figure 17. This feature develops into different body parts in each vertebrate. Yet, in all vertebrates, each part is in the face or neck. For example, in reptiles, birds and humans, part of pharyngeal pouch develops into a gland in the neck that regulates calcium. In fish, the same part becomes the gills. One function of the gills is to regulate calcium. The similarities in function and location of gills and glands suggest a strong evolutionary relationship between fish and other vertebrates. Molecular biology. Studies of fossils, comparative anatomy, and embryology provide support for Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection. Molecular biology is the study of gene structure and function. Discoveries in molecular biology that have confirmed and extended much of the data already collected. About the theory of evolution, Darwin did not know about genes, but scientists today know that mutations in genes are the source of variations upon which natural selection acts. Genes provide powerful support for evolution. Comparing sequences. All organisms on Earth have genes. All genes are made of DNA, and all genes work in similar ways. This supports the idea that all organisms are related. Scientists can study relatedness of organisms by comparing genes and proteins among living species. For example, nearly all organisms contain a gene that codes for cytochrome, a protein required for cellular respiration. For some species, such as human and rhesus monkey, have nearly identical cytochrome C. The more closely related two species are, the more similar the genes and proteins are. Divergence. Scientists have found that some stretches of shared DNA mutate at regular, predictable rates. Scientists use this molecular clock to estimate at time in past living species diverged from common ancestors. For example, as shown in figure 18, molecular data indicated that whales and porpoises are more closely related to hippopotamus than they are to any other living species. The study of evolution today. The theory of evolution by natural selection is cornerstone of modern biology. Since Darwin published his theory, scientists have confirmed, refined, and extended Darwin's work. They have observed, natural, refined, and extended Darwin's work. They have observed natural selection in hundreds of living species. The studies of fossils, anatomy, and biology, and molecular biology have all provided evidence of relatedness among living and extinct species. How new species form. New evidence supports the theory of evolution by natural selection is discovered nearly every day, but scientists debate some of the details. Figure 19 shows that scientists have different ideas about the rate at which natural selection produces new species slowly and gradually or quickly in bursts. The origin of a species is difficult to study on human timescales. It is also difficult to study in the incomplete fossil record. Yet new fossils that have features of species that lived both before them and after them are discovered for all the time. For example, Tiktaalik fossil shown in figure 20 has both fish and amphibian features. Further fossil discoveries will help scientists study more details about the origin of the new species. Diversity. Evolution has provided Earth's wide diversity of organisms using the same basic building blocks. Genes is an active area of study in evolutionary biology. Scientists are finding the genes can be reorganized in simple ways that give rise to dramatic changes in organisms. Through scientists now study evolution at the molecular level, the basic principles of Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection have remained unchanged for over 150 years.